Sounds good. Great. All right. This is Jesse at Generations Woodcraft, and welcome to the first annual Woodworking Video Awards. The Woodworking Video Awards are brought to you by Generations Woodcraft. So, what that means is that there is no affiliation with any governing body. These awards are designed by Generations Woodcraft. Generation Woodcraft decides all nominees and winners, and Generations Woodcraft can be bought off, even though we don't say that out loud. Also, I would like all the wonderful creators who are going to be winning these wonderful awards today know that if you would actually like your award, which probably the creators who I'm going to be awarding these to probably won't even know that I'm doing this. They probably won't even see the videos, even though I did tag them in it, because I mean, who am I, right?
I literally never seen you before.
But I did make an award. You can choose between Woody, or I have one with Woody Allen's face. So I will go ahead and send you these. You can put them on your wall and display them for everyone to see. So if they ask where you got that, you can say, I won the first annual Woody Awards.
It's like a reward.
So when it comes to Rookie of the Year, this is anybody who started in the year of 2022 or pretty close to it, and just really showed a lot of, just basically anyone who, it's not really about the subscribers, but the quality. And there's really only one choice for this, and you'll see what I mean here in a minute. So there's a few others, but I tried to keep it to people where most of their original videos were in the first year. And I wasn't going to have any, actually, I wasn't even going to make any nominees for this, and you'll see here in a minute. So number one was Lincoln Street Woodworks. Just fantastic. He's actually in here for a lot of awards. And he started a little bit before me, but I mean, when it comes to the quality of his work, his videos, it's something that I aspire to be better at. So he's a fantastic choice. Choice number two, Lincoln Street Woodworks. Let's be honest, right? Okay, but seriously, that's good. Oh, there he is again. Choice number three. All right, so who's going to be for it? It's going to be
What?
Lincoln Street Woodworks. By far, 2022, when you talk about people who just started or who are just barely started, Lincoln Street Woodworks. If you're not following him, I highly recommend it. It's educational, it's entertaining, and it's very good for beginners. Very good for beginners, but it's still good for intermediate. And and his editing is fantastic. His editing is fantastic. He knows how to make a good YouTube video. All right, so now this is, oh, what happened there? Get here. Okay, this is best live video. Your best live videos. So these are people who do lives often. Some of them are weekly, some of them are a couple times a week. The first one is Wood by Right. He actually has two different channels. Especially if you are into into hand tools, he does a fantastic job. He's got a very good cadence. He got a very good tone to his voice. So I like his live videos. The next one is 731 Woodworks. Fantastic lives. He hits on everything, from woodworking as a hobby to woodworking as a business. Fantastic lives. Definitely would recommend tuning in to him if you haven't already. Another one, you may not know this, but there's one called Woodworking YouTubers. It's a channel that I watch often, and it's Married Man Woodworking is the host. It's a second channel, and it's really catered to people who are woodworking YouTubers themselves. So people like me, but it's fantastic. I highly recommend. If you have any idea that you might want to make videos in the future, or just kind of see what they talk about, what's important to them when they make the videos, I would definitely recommend. Checking that one out. And lastly, Rob Cosman. Rob Cosman does one every 2 weeks. And on those, he's always collecting money for the Purple Heart Project, which is something that I give to every month. The Purple Heart Project, he brings in combat wounded veterans, and helps them, use tools, and it helps with like basically to calm the soul and the mind, and it's a fantastic program that I highly recommend. And Rob Cosman will be popping up a little bit later on in this as well. Now for me, the winner of this one is definitely 731 Woodworks when it comes to live videos, because he hits everything. We're talking, he hits, he talks about everything. I think he has his spouse on there sometimes. Seems like a really cool dude. He answers questions. They're good live videos. So I watch a lot of his live videos just lately because I want to make mine better. So definitely 731, I think, has the best lives, because he also does them often. There's some people that do really, and Rob Cosman was a really close second. So if you're not, even if you're not into hand tools, I highly recommend it, because he does some good work over there. All right, so the next one is going to be ASMR of the year. Now, there's really only one person who deserves this, and this is coming from someone who I started watching these videos. It wasn't my thing at first, but just watching the videos, now I'm a huge fan. I never miss a video, and that's Blacktail Studios. I mean, if you just want to kind of get lost in the art of woodworking, you can put it on mute if you wanted to, but even when he narrates it and he talks about what he's doing, it's just fantastic. He's got a very nice tone. It's very soothing. You learn a lot of stuff, and he just makes great tables. I mean, and sometimes he makes his bases, sometimes he doesn't. But even though I know he's going to be doing epoxy and I know he's going to be doing a table, I watch it every time because it's just fantastic, and it's a 30 minutes that just melts away. ASMR of the year definitely goes to Blacktail Studios. Next one, we have Hand Tool Channel of the Year. Now, I made this one specific because hand tools, those cats are different. The hand tool people, I mean, there's just so many people that only do nothing but hand tools, and I think it takes a special skill to do the hand tools, and it takes a special want to work with the tools when it comes to hand tool that not everybody has. Me, I started off wanting to do nothing but hand tool woodworking, then bam, now here I am. And I'm kind of a mix, and really I need to get back into my hand tools. But number one, Wood by Right. I mentioned him earlier. Fantastic. What I really like about Wood by Right is that he makes projects that feel accessible. Like, I can do that. And he walks you through the whole process. Number two, Rob Cosman. The man makes a dovetail in less than 2 minutes, and it's good. He goes over everything in detail. The first videos I started watching, he can go into 45 minutes about a half lap joint, and every minute of it is important. So Rob Cosman is definitely on there. Paul Sellers, just listening to him talk about woodworking, and what it means to him, and what it's meant to his life, and watching him build, it's fantastic. It reaches that part that I've talked about with my woodworking, that it's special to me, and I feel that with Paul, that it's also special to him. And then Rex Kruger, and he will be popping up again later. I think the first video I ever watched on woodworking was Rex. He's also just, I mean, if you're looking to figure out how to do hand tool woodworking with the least amount of money possible, how to find things on the cheap, how to build accessible projects, Rex is fantastic. But with all that said, to me, because I'm a fanboy, the winner was Rob Cosman. And also, as a veteran, I really do appreciate what he does. But watching he hits all the spots for me. But and then that's the thing about this, any of the people in this that I'm nominating at all, compared to, I'm a tadpole compared to them. So all of them are worth watching if you haven't started already. Okay, so now we're going to go into the best channel for beginners. And this one was really important to me because this is where I started. And basically, all of the people in here are the people that I started with. Number one, Stumpy Nubs Woodworking. He hits everything. And I mean everything from hand tools to power tools to safety. He does videos reacting to other videos, and then when people react to his videos, he does videos about that. Just if it's available out there, he talks about it, and I really enjoy that. Rex Kruger, like I said, he will. Hopefully, I'm saying your name right, Rex. If you even see this, he starts off with the bench that looks like a bench, but how important that bench is, and how to make how to buy inexpensive um, planes and make them work. He also goes over basically anything that you need to go over to start off as a brand new woodworker without having to spend a lot of money. And he also applies to projects. And then the first thing I downloaded, the first um, what do you call plans I downloaded were his, which you were giving out for free because you wanted people to, send in pictures of what they did. So, huge fan of Rex. 731 Woodworks. Um, he, I actually watched one of his videos recently because my next video is going to be a pretty simple one about how to make farmhouse, which honestly I'm not a huge fan of. I'm not. So but yeah, 731. He's got some fantastic videos about farmhouse and all that stuff. If you're wanting to start a business or just sell your pieces to recoup the cost, 731 is fantastic. He goes over tools, inexpensive and mid cost, and he basically started out like a lot of us do, with not much. He said his first thing he ever built and started selling were chevrons, which are just two boards cut at an angle with pocket holes. So fantastic channel if you're a beginner. And then, of course, we all know Woodworking for Mere Mortals. He has such a gigantic back catalog of stuff that you can watch. And he goes really deep down to make it simplicity. When you see him make his videos, it looks like his garage is a garage first and a woodshop second, but the things he can make out of that, he didn't have a lot of his early videos. He doesn't have anything special, nothing fancy. I think my shop now, and only been doing this a year, is bigger than which most of his videos start with. He makes everything really simple. He goes over why you do the things the way you do, goes over safety. And like I said, with his back catalog as big as it is, and then now he's doing meet podcasts with other makers, and of course they talk about YouTube, but they also talk about how they make things, and it's just fantastic. Now, all of them are good. If you're not following all of them, I definitely would recommend you do. But by far, the winner goes to Woodworking for Mere Mortals. Now, I was actually going to do a lifetime achievement award and just throw, but I figure I'll wait until we have about when we bump up to a couple thousand viewers, and then I'll start doing lifetime achievement awards. But definitely, if you're a beginner, and he was one of the people I binged watched was Steve at Woodworking for Mere Mortals. All right, now we're going to talk about designing. This is something that I wasn't into at first, but now that I'm actually making my own pieces, designing is something that I think is really cool. And there are certain channels that their design is just on point. And these are the ones that I think that are it. And they all design in different ways. So number one, Four Eyes. Four Eyes Furniture. His designs are sleek. They feel like they're not easy to make, but then you just watch him and he goes over how to make them. It's Four Eyes is fantastic. And I'm not just saying that as a fellow glasses wearer. Keith Johnson, been binge watching a lot of his old stuff. Keith Johnson, has got Custom Woodworking, has a lot of really good. And the good thing about his stuff is it goes from, uh, it's all obtainable, but it fits. It goes from everywhere. You could feel like that's way out of my league. Or you could see something that looks simple, but then watching him build it and then how he does it in the small, intricate things he puts into it, it makes a big difference. So Keith Johnson is definitely fantastic there. John the Builder Malecki, once again, he's got different. I mean, he's out there. He does. I know epoxy, but he also, will do small things. His videos about, doing things at 3 different stages. Even something as simple as, I think one of the first videos I saw of him was doing or at least the one that sticks out more than anything, was doing the sawhorses, and how he just made a top-end sawhorse. Just was like, wow, I didn't even think about that. I didn't realize you could put that much detail into something that seems so simple. And then Sawyer Design, some of the stuff he does, I mean, is just it embarrasses me. Like if he was like, hey, let's compare notes, I'd be like, no, thank you. I'll just look at yours. You don't need to see mine. And he does it with hand tools mostly, but he uses power tools, and his videos are great. I mean, I don't know, his lighting or something is on point, because I just feel like being in his shop would be like the calmest place in the world. So Sawyer Design, fantastic if you haven't seen any of those. But by far, to me, I have to give it to Four Eyes. The designs that they come up with. I know that the other gentleman's starting his own page, and I recommend that one too. And I'm sorry, I can't remember the name off the top of my head. Sean Boyd, thank you so much. There it is. Thank you so much, Sean Boyd. Now, as soon as I saw it, I'm like, I know. So Sean, and his channel is fantastic. He just made a brand new video that I absolutely loved. We got here. But Four Eyes, they're so elegant, and now he's actually doing tables, and he's mixing. I mean, I saw him make built-in cabinets look cool. So Four Eyes, to me, I definitely think is the best designer out there, and great videos. I think he's got classes. I recommend all that stuff, but definitely designer-wise, that would be my choice. Now, Educator of the Year. This is someone who basically who I feel you can learn the most from, and this is learning in multiple different facets. This is learning about technique. This is brand new to woodworking, and you can only watch one channel. This is the channel that you would be able to get everything you need to be able to move forward in any discipline that you want. It might be a little bit slower because we can only make so many videos a year, but this is the channel where if you could only have one channel, right, and you were just strictly worried about education, these would be the channels. Number one, Stumpy Nubs again. Like I said, Stumpy Nubs does everything. And I absolutely love his cadence. I love his videos. They're like 7 minutes. I think he packs the most into 7 minutes of anyone in this genre. So I'm a huge fan of Stumpy Nubs. Rob Cosman, definitely. Now this one leans a little bit more towards hand tools. However, he does have a lot of information about the major power tools that someone who would still want to be hand tool heavy would use, like bandsaws and table saws and things like that. So I still put him there. And then mainly because, as I mentioned before, his videos are so detailed on what would be a 30-minute, he'll do a 30-minute video on, I mean, he has so many videos on sharpening that are almost an hour, and he have a 30-minute video on, like I mentioned before, I mean, how to do a half lap, which, seems like it wouldn't be that detailed, but he goes over the ifs, the hows, the whys, the whos, and give you a little bit of history lesson. It's fantastic. The Wood Whisperer, another one that is, like I said, a little bit of everything. You learn about tools, hand tools, power tools, the basics of woodworking, furniture making, but he also goes a little bit more into detail and will help you by figuring out what kind of finishes you could use and doing, small tests and, real life stuff. And then, of course, he's got his, the guild, which you could be a part of. And then, of course, he's got his podcast, which I love because there's, whenever I need an hour, I put in my headphones and I can just listen to people talking about woodworking, and I love it. And then Jonathan Katz Moses. When I first started, I think I binged a lot of Jonathan Katz Moses. Same thing. Now this year, a little bit later in the year, he's been working more towards his tools. But the stop block is fantastic, by the way. I think I mentioned that in a video before, but if you want to know how to do his what is it, joint of the week, that is a fantastic series, and I learned so much from that. He does a lot of good slow-mo vids. I think I learned most of everything I needed to learn from a router from Jonathan Cat Moses, because he goes over detail how to use the routers and the finishing. I think I've watched his finishing video a couple times when I got my first sprayer. So Jonathan Katz Moses is fantastic in that as well. However, for me, the winner is Stumpy Nubs. And then, like I said before, basically because he touches everything. He'll do multiple 7-minute videos a week. He goes from one topic to another, and I just think that if I could only watch one person and I had to try to learn how to woodwork through one YouTuber, I think Stumpy Nubs would have to be the one. All right, so now we're going to get into the entertainment portion. Now, just because I call them the entertainer of the year doesn't mean that I don't think that they're good at that they're not good at everything else. It's just that, to me, these are the videos that I don't wait till Sunday to watch, because I know I'm going to laugh. I know I'm going to enjoy them. I know that it's going to be a lot of fun. And I also know that I'm going to either learn something at the same time, or even if I don't learn something, I know that it's something I don't want to wait for. For number one for that, we have Lincoln Street Woodworks. He doesn't come out with as many videos but that's reason why he makes good videos. But he doesn't come out with videos as often as everyone else, but every time he does, they're a banger. Hundreds of thousands of views. I'm one of them a couple times. I watch him a couple times. He makes me laugh. I always learn something. You feel like you know him through the videos. I just definitely am a fan. Bourbon Moth. Every time the video comes up, I watch it that day if I can. A lot of times, if I'm lucky enough, I watch it right then and there. He's funny. He's got a fantastic beard. I almost hate him for it. I was going to do a best beard, but then I would have to give it to myself, and then everyone would know it's a lie and a cheat. So, what are you going to do? The good thing about his videos is that they're entertaining. He's totally himself, so there's nobody else like him. It's really nonstop, because he's always talking, he's making jokes, but you're learning something the whole way. So I'm definitely a fan of Bourbon Moth. Fisher Shop. I don't know who Fisher Shop's neighbor is, but I know eventually he's not going to be around anymore, because he's going to be in jail from all the stuff he steals from his neighbor. But the voice cracks me up. Not that it's a funny voice, but the way he says things, it just delivers. He's always making really good stuff. And his shop, I feel, is my shop, with the size and how he's trying to fit everything in there. He has fantastic plans. I mean, great plans. I've actually bought a couple of his plans. And really what I like about Fisher is it's like talking to a next door neighbor who is just amazing at what he does, and you just want to talk to him all the time about it. But I love Fisher Shop. Definitely a huge fan. And then lastly, we got Jackman Works. The guy got, he's on TV. I know there's people on that show that I didn't mention. I couldn't mention everybody. These are, like I said, I'm judge, jury, and executioner on this. This is just a guy who started woodworking through YouTube 2 years ago, because he didn't have his dad anymore to help him. And these are the people that stick out to me. So, but Jackman's hilarious. Does good work. You want to watch him. You look at the screen and you're like, I like this guy. I'm learning from this guy, and Jackman's fantastic. So definitely he is in the top 4. But to me, the winner, the one person that I watch as soon as the videos come up, every time, I always have a good time. And he gets the nod because my wife laughs when I listen to it out loud, is Fisher Shop. So I think it's Drew over at Fisher Shop. I got to say, you're doing great work. You make me smile, and I appreciate you for it. All right, so now I wanted to do video of the year. Now this one's very difficult to do because with the video, I mean, what do you go off of? Do you go off of how many people have watched it? Do you go off of how many people have commented on it? Custom, she did a fantastic video. I think it's Tamar. Portable and affordable workbench for small spaces. And I watched that. And I almost made that workbench, and I think I still might. I've watched that video a couple times. It was fantastic. I mean, it is definitely anything a beginner would want. How much she was able to tell you how important and how useful that bench was. And basically you can almost build it just from the video. And that's a lot of things you don't get very often. Is can I actually watch this video and nothing else and build what it is they're trying to that they want me to build? In this case, you can. Fantastic. All right, so now we are here to our last category. This is the overall channel of the year. So this mixes all those previous ones. Do you help beginners? Are you entertaining? Do I learn from you? Do you make good videos? Can I listen to you and can I watch you and want to keep doing that? So number one is Four Eyes. Definitely one of my favorite channels. And honestly, I think I watched one of his videos at first, and I wasn't a fan. I'm going to be honest. At first I wasn't, and I can't tell you why. I think it may be because actually I can't tell you why, because it felt unattainable at first. And then I learned just a little bit more, and then I started watching his videos, and then I think it was his tips and tricks video from a couple years ago when I learned the 45-degree angle on that, and how to do just a little bit less than 45. So then when you connect it together, the tips are gonna, it's gonna connect like this, even if it's a little bit off this way. And then after that, it felt more attainable. And now, like I said, design wise, the whole 9 yards. I think he has a fantastic page, and I look forward to every single video. 3x3 custom, Tamar, fantastic. Once again, I mean, watching her videos and seeing her do what she does she had a video where she did everything, where she was telling you how you could do everything that she does on a job site saw. And that's the kind of stuff that is just invaluable to beginners. And she makes some really good stuff, and then she makes some things that are, she takes risks with her videos, like the one where she tried to make the roll-up chair. Anyone who puts their mistakes out there, I think is good for the genre, because ultimately what I'd like to see with woodworking is I would like to see I'd like to see woodworking as big as cooking. Right now, you could go to Fox and there's cooking shows on there, right? I want to see people go in and watch woodworking. I want to see America's next, top woodworker. I want to see there to be, where you go in and like this week we're going to be making spoons, and the next week we're going to be, it could be. I don't care. I just want to see woodworking because I think it's that important. I think that for both men and women, it's something that soothes the soul when you're in the shop. And honestly, I think a lot of us, and I hope I'm wrong here, but I think a lot of us always could use that. All of us could use more time working with our hands. Maybe some of us missed out on the time, like I did with my dad in the shop. And we can always help somebody else. Woodworking, I think, is so fundamental to a sound, comfortable life, some kind of hobby like that. And I think it doesn't have to be woodworking, but I think it should be. But anyways, next one, Blacktail Studio. The Blacktail Studios, I mean, every single video is in the millions. I watch every single one of his videos. He makes such beautiful tables that it gets eyes on woodworking. No matter how you feel about epoxy, as part of it, it is now, especially since he doesn't make like river tables, which I have nothing against. So don't hold it against me. It's just like it's like the same thing. I don't use pocket holes, but I have nothing against it. And that's part of the video I'm making now, is that I'm going to make a easy with 2x4s end table set that you can make with like basically 3 steps with no pocket holes. But anyways, So not everyone feels strongly about epoxy, but when it comes to the channel, people put eyes on it, and then that also when he has eyes on his channel, it brings eyes to everyone else's channel. So Blacktail is fantastic. He does good work. He talks to then I've seen him on a bunch of other people's channels, people with less followers than him. And I think that's important because, like I said, I want this to be huge, and the way it gets huge is for all of us to work together. Now, and one day I'll get to the point where one of them will say, "Hey, I think I seen you on YouTube," and I'd be like, "Yeah." But he's fantastic, and I'm glad he does what he does. And then lastly, probably Jason at Bourbon Moth. I mean, he's doing so well that he's on Magnolia channel now, which I think is awesome. Like I said, that's what I want to see happen. Always entertaining, always learn something. If I haven't mentioned it before, fantastic beard, and I think that's great. And the other thing about Bourbon Moth is that because he brings the humor, and he's got his own way, and he's got his little things that he does in every video that people look forward to, and they see it, like when he runs through and slides on his desk. It makes you feel. There's a reason why sitcoms and things do so well, is because they'll do a lot of the same things over and over again. It's like being at home. You get used to it. You like it. And he's smart that way. He does that, but the whole time you're learning something. And he could do a 30-minute video on making drawers, and it's entertaining the whole time, and you learn something. And I'm so glad that all these channels are doing as fantastic as they are. Now, with that said, I have to say that if I was going to give a channel of the year away, and I wasn't going to base it all on likes, and if I wasn't going to base and it is a little bit, like I said, it's based on how big they are on the in the area of YouTube, how many eyes are on them, because eyes on them is what this is all about on YouTube, and it's how they teach. But take into consideration design, teaching, educating, and entertaining. The winner for Channel of the Year in 2022 is Bourbon Moth. Bourbon Moth, this is the channel that I have not missed a single video. I don't think I've ever waited to watch one of the videos unless I absolutely had to. And I've never skipped over it, even through the ads. So, because his ads are great. So, Channel of the Year goes to Bourbon Moth. Now, for any of the awesome, wonderful winners, if somehow someone either tells you about this, you get bored and drunk one night and you start watching this, and you would like one of these Woodies with either Woody Allen or Woody from Toy Story in there, I will gladly send you one. Just reach out to me. My email is in the description, and I will send it to you, just because you are awesome and you deserve it.
We should probably get going now.